And we're on. Action. Hi, guys. Hey, hey, hey. All right. As always, Facebook takes a moment to do its thing. Tell everybody. I'm going to check my end over here. Make sure everything's all good. All right. So that's being taken care of. I'm back to doing the lives as needed. Let me just make sure y'all can hear and see. All right, cool. All right. So it looks like we're all set. I don't have any theme music, so I kind of do like this like fake dancing kind of thing. I need theme music. Facebook is so with sensitive to putting music and everything. So I don't want to put any music on here, any kind of banner or anything, because these things can get you kicked up off of Facebook. So yeah, it's Friday and we go live at the half of the hour of 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope everybody is having an amazing day. And I'm going to wait about 30 seconds and then we go ahead and get started. For let some people tune in. Like I said, I know it's the middle of you guys' day. But yeah, so I'll see what Facebook's doing its thing and then we'll go ahead and start. This is a continued convo, so. All right. So we are continuing the conversation from yesterday. Oh, wait. Hold on one second. It's not being shared up on my page. 1 second. Okay. No, okay. Everything's showing. So today is Friday. And we are having a continued conversation on, the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make. But before we go ahead and step into that, let me do my spiel. So you are tuning into Thrive Abundantly TV. This is, the channel where it's a safe haven for all entrepreneurs. My name is Lauren Elsie Thrive, the Thriving Entrepreneur, and I'm here to make you go, and gut check you into your business. So this is a place where, if you're sensitive, you're not ready to make those leaps that you've been ignoring, that a lot of times as an entrepreneur, we know things that we particularly need to do a lot of the times. Sometimes we don't want to hear it. And that's because we got to work on our own personal growth and development to be able to be coachable here. So I'm going to talk about some of these mistakes that you could be particularly doing that's stopping and hindering you for having your business. But as I said, I'm Lauren Elsie Thriver, go by LC, Lauren Elsie Thriver, whatever you want to call. So I'm the Thriving Entrepreneur, and I'm here at a space where I help entrepreneurs, particularly women entrepreneurs, to excel and take leaps and bounds in their business that they never thought they could take. So, I help them to be able to have breakthroughs in their business, to avoid burnout, because as entrepreneurs, we get burnt out easily, especially women trying to maintain their family, their household, and everything like that. So I help them to be able to avoid burnout within their lives, their business, to excel and without sacrificing the time with their family. So to be able to excel and bring their business to have an online business. So that's particularly what I do. That's what I'm, here. But Thrive Abundantly TV, and I'm here tuned in weekdays at 12:30 to just give you a little chat and talk about particular things that you need to be mindful for as an entrepreneur. I wish I, had the resources that we had today for, building an entrepreneur. When I started 12 years ago, I didn't even know I was an entrepreneur. I don't think I heard entrepreneur to, I don't know, mid-20s or something like that. So, I've been nonstop consistent into the entrepreneur journey, working full-time for myself. And I've been going for about 6 years. So I've built a couple businesses. I have one that's been standing on for 4 years as a personal training business, and I also have the business here at ThriveAbundantly where I help entrepreneur and business coaching pretty much. So let's kind of dive in a little bit. Go ahead and take that down. Let's dive in a little bit about what we were carrying on about yesterday. I was talking about the biggest mistakes that you could be having, that you could be doing. And I'm personally the one I'm going to share a little bit more of mine today. But I talked about an interview that I think with Mark Zuckerberg the other day. And one of the things I love, and that is now one of my mottos that I stay consistent and remind myself of, is he talked about you got to be willing to move fast and break things. So that was a highlight of yesterday. And what he means by that is not being so stuck in the space of, what your business is, being not stuck. Let me take that back. You do need to do initial research and your niche and everything like that. I talked about that in the struggles as far as marketing and branding the week before last. I think it might be episode 4 or 5 of that chat series 2 weeks ago. So, you could definitely tune in there. I gave some great feedback on where and resources that you should be doing and using when you're struggling with marketing and branding. So go ahead and tune back to that if you need to. Like I said, it's on my YouTube channel. It's also here on this business page, on Lauren LC Thrive, my business page. If you just Google and research CEO LC Thrive on Facebook, you'll find me. Or if you put LC Thrive on YouTube, you'll find all the channels too. So pretty much I talked about, when Mark Zuckerberg talked about you got to be willing to move fast and break things, is, get your product out there as soon as possible. Don't sit on it too long. Don't think about it. If you have an idea and you sit on your topic too long, you're pretty much a wannapreneur, not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur moves fast, so you got to be willing to, have some hiccups, make some mistakes and things like that. So I talked about that yesterday and how, being a perfectionist can really hurt you as far as making sure your product is just so perfect. Because if you worry about your product being so perfect, and once you get out there, it's too late. So that's one area that's discussed. And I also talked about understanding the difference between embarrassment and versus being ashamed, because that's one of the reasons why a lot of entrepreneurs don't move, or they take too long to look up. Definitely let me know, for those who are tuning in. Hey, Keith from Columbus, Ohio. Let me know what city and state you guys are tuning in from. I'm glad you're tuning in. So yeah, understanding the difference between, having embarrassment versus being ashamed. If you kind of get a good understanding with this, it may help you to avoid certain things. It's okay to have some embarrassment. Yesterday I talked about the Hoffman theory. And the Hoffman theory is, if you're not embarrassed of your first release of your product, you released it a little too late. It's okay to be uncomfortable, may have a little bit of embarrassment, but, are you ashamed? Is this something that's, understanding embarrassment is something that you might be, a little bashful about, feeling a little, uneasy about what other people may think because it might not be great or perfect or whatever you want to say. But ashamed is just like if you've done some harm with someone, you really hurt someone, and you're just ashamed of yourself, you left this bad taste, or something like that. Okay, but understand the difference with that. So carrying on this conversation from yesterday, I want to go in furthermore. I gave about 3 yesterday, but I want to give 6 more and different ways of big mistakes that you could be making as an entrepreneur and to be mindful for. And then I'll finish up with my biggest mistake. And they kind of fall into this. So definitely for those who are tuning in, I know this would be very helpful for a lot. I wish I could have been able to hear what I'm sharing today. I wish I had the me now back then in my ear, but I made it through. I made it through the whole entrepreneur journey. I'm still here, standing strong, even started another business. So, one of the things that, if this is something that is being helpful for others, please share this so people can tune in now. And if you don't have a pen and paper, you might want to write these notes down. So one of the things that entrepreneurs make a big mistake alongside with, not knowing the difference of being embarrassed and ashamed and being a perfectionist is expecting instant results. You can't have instant gratification as an entrepreneur. You can't. I'm telling you, that is something that I see people who have that. You're going to die in this industry. You are. It's okay to move fast. Like, I get it, especially for those who are in network marketing. I've been in the game. I've made quick, fast money. You know what I'm saying? I've hit top ranks in 5 weeks and, stuff like that. And it's cool, but it's like you got to be mindful and very careful of that instant gratification because it can burn you out. Because, like I said, it's like, all right, like a plane, you're moving fast and then you take off. But guess what? Once you get up there, you kind of soar. You get what I'm saying? So you need to make sure you're in a space where you are setting yourself up for a ground. You get what I'm saying? So the first thing is, as I always talked about, is setting up your mind. You know what I mean? So definitely be mindful for, when you having, sorry about that, guys. Definitely be mindful of that when, as an entrepreneur, when you're out there, because when you are just setting yourself up that you want, you have to, if you have to get this result. I mean, I remember being one of those particular entrepreneurs where, I would say, like, if I don't get it in 30 days, if I don't see any results, now, or whatever the case may be, then I'm going to wrap it up. You know what I mean? And that can kill you guys. Like, sorry, someone's typing in the chat and I'm just making sure. For some reason, I can't see your comment. I don't know if maybe you put like an emoji and I just don't see, what you're saying. But, yeah, so the biggest mistake is, like, as an entrepreneur, you cannot have instant gratification. That's something, especially when you're building a brand new business that has no platform. Like, okay, if you are in network marketing, you could have a little bit because everything is like set up for you. But when you're, starting something from the ground, you got to be a little patient. You do need to move fast. As I said, with Mark Zuckerberg, I'm sticking to that quote, move fast and break things. You do have to be willing to, get going and move fast. But at the same time, you need to be at a space where, you can set yourself up, in a place where, if things aren't going the exact way and getting results as you want, then there's there. Another thing I want to talk about that with the whole thing as far as instant gratification is make sure that you are confusing the money with your results, because your process and what you're doing is growing you as an entrepreneur. You got that? So it's making you expand and grow. So definitely enjoy the process. I was one that if I ain't making no money, I don't got it. This ain't working. But guess what? I really expanded myself as an entrepreneur. There's skills and things that I felt at the time was a big flop in business. I ain't making no money. I just accrued debt, you get what I'm saying, and didn't do anything. But there's skills that I'm using from that experience back then now that's helped me. So be mindful for when you're expecting results. Be mindful of what your results is not always money. Okay. it's growth in you, a developing. Entrepreneur is a journey meaning you learning skill sets, you expanding and making, money is like on the back end. Everything that you need to learn, grow, the hardships that you got to go through, everything's on the front for you to develop to be this amazing entrepreneur, to be able to earn that kind of money. If you want to be a millionaire and a billionaire, guess what? You got to work on who you are and what you're doing, and maintain your composure, maintain your skill sets, improve in these areas so you can provide and be for other people before you can have for anyone else. You get what I'm saying? So you can't expect to be this millionaire and billionaire when you don't even know how to provide a value to other people. You don't understand sales. You struggle in this area. So be really mindful with that. Like I said, with expecting results instantly and knowing the difference of what the results is, because a lot of times where you're trying to get to as your destination, you're already there. And I this is something that had to be told to me many times by my mentors and coaches. Okay. So the next thing that I would say is, after expecting instant results, is, the big mistake that you could be doing is not securing yourself, quitting too soon. All right, so I'm speaking to those who are at their job, who just, have this business that they're passionate about, they love it, and they just want the freedom. You just want to leave, and you just want to take that leap and go. Like, I'm sick of this job, I want to go. I'm speaking specifically to you, because this was the big mistake I did. Okay. Now, like I said, I made it out alive. I don't really recommend this for anyone, because I put myself in a struggle that I didn't have to be in. So when I said not securing your funds and quitting too soon was a big mistake, this was my personal mistake. Now, I had some secured funds at some point, because I did have about maybe about 8 to 9 months of savings that I was able to live off until I got my mind right. But if I had to go back, I would have not just jumped out, quit the job, and just, I'm going for this. For one, I wasn't fully sure on what I'm doing, and I'm going to go back into that in a minute. So, like I said, if you have a job that you can maintain, I'm saying if you're about to beat somebody up, or you're really stressed out at your job, okay, consider another secured job. You got to understand, a job is not bad. I mean, one of the things I hate to see, and I might have been on that wave for a little bit, as far as, people throw dirt and spit on jobs so bad, as entrepreneurs do, by saying, oh, a job is when you just over broke, you live in somebody else's dream, Well, whose coattail are you supposed to ride on until you get yours? You got to look at your job in a different perspective. Your job is your biggest investor for your dreams. Now, if you're just sitting on a job and you're not doing anything to pursue your dreams, then yes, you got a problem. But I have personal friends and family members who have a job that they like and maintain, that, they definitely get good benefits or whatever. Sometimes the pay may not be well, but the benefits work. They're matching their 401k. You got to use that job. You get what I'm saying? Like I said, if you go into work and say, this job is my biggest investor for my dreams, you might have a different attitude when you're going to work. So I'm not one that's spitting on jobs. I've definitely even considered, especially as I was moving and branding another business at the time, a couple years ago, was to get, a job with particular benefits, paid time off or whatever, while I was securing my business. So that's one thing, is a huge mistake, and was one of mine, because, man, I probably would have cut 4 years off if I knew the things that I knew by securing. And let me go into a little bit more detail when I say securing. Making sure you have an emergency fund. If you can push, having to $1,000 to $3,000 in a savings account, or whatever the case may be, so that you can be able to, if something happens, your job, someone dies, things like that. Because as an entrepreneur, you don't get that time off. I've had to go straight and leave funerals early and still go work, because guess what? If I don't, who's going to pay my bills? I've been in that place. So that is a huge mistake where, you're going. And especially, I really want to speak to those who are, may have a side business and it's not their heart and they're not fully passionate about. but you know it's making good money, be very careful with just leaving out your job and you're not securing yourself to make sure you have emergency funds, you have some life insurance, disability insurance, making sure that you have a retirement plan. I didn't have any of that. So that was a huge thing. And then later, I started to grow up and realize, these things need to be taken care of. So I want to speak to you, especially as a young entrepreneur, if you want to just jump and leave your job. I'm not saying you can't make it out. I'm one of the people who did, but I definitely could have saved myself a lot of heartache and problems and things like that if I would have particularly stayed at a job that, secured me. You get what I'm saying? So I had a job that I hated. I was pulling my hair out, losing weight and stuff like that. But I had opportunities to go to a job that I liked. You get what I'm saying? And I could have definitely stayed there, secured myself a little more before just jumping out the plane with no parachute. So be very careful with stuff like that. And another thing was why I'm saying, as far as, being a big mistake that entrepreneurs do is, as far as not securing themselves and quitting too soon, is because that's where it goes back to, you start having instant gratification and now you're stressing out and you want this new business, this side hustle or whatever you're doing to bring money in. If you secured yourself, you won't be so stressed and pushing and forcing the business to grow, because a lot of times you're not even doing the groundwork that needs to be done to build that business. You know what I mean? I've actually had people I coach, even in other, companies, network marketing and things like that I've been in, where, people quit because they didn't make money in like 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying? Like, I got bills. Then you didn't secure yourself. The problem was you have an income problem right now. It's not, like, building a business takes time, Amazon, it took them like 11 years to have like a full profit. You get what I'm saying? And I'm talking from a tax perspective, and I don't do taxes, but I'm just saying, for them to claim and actually have a product, it took like 11 years, something like that. So what I'm saying is, when you're building a business, it takes time. At times you're building a foundation that's supposed to secure your future, but you got to make sure you worry about your current lifestyle right now. So make sure, especially, I had a conversation with one of my clients. She has a job she loves. Her job is cool. She likes it, but she just wants to be with her children. She want to be free, and she just want to go on and pursue her hair business. And it's great, but if you just do that, let me just ask you, if you happen to blow your tire out or whatever, is that going to affect you? You know what I mean? Are you still going to be able to live with your children, take care of your children, everything from, your hair business? It's just like, you're going to have to put in a little overtime for your business. So go ahead, work your job, do what you got to do. Like I said, I'm not one to spit on a job. Your job is your biggest investor for your dreams, but you got to be willing to take that time after your 9 to 5 to put in the time for your life and your dreams. Because the more you go and secure that, you got to secure the bag. Everybody talk about securing the bag, right? So if you secure, your current lifestyle, and you putting the time out and focusing on your future lifestyle, and then that starts to be able to knock out that income, then cool. That's when you can leave. Like I said, don't just do like me. I was broke. I had some savings. I was broke though. You get what I'm saying? And I was just like, I can't take this job. I'm quitting. I'm going entrepreneur. Like, I'm just going to run. At the time, I was in a network marketing business. Let's just say I was like pushing to do the pink Cadillac. Okay. So I'm just going to do that. And I was like, I'm telling you, out here in the city, walking everywhere, talking to everyone, passing out business cards, doing events. But guess what? You got to put money into that. You got to put money and time into those things. You ain't going to have much left over at the time to pay your bills and secure your future and your current lifestyle. So that is a huge mistake that I personally did. And I'm being totally transparent with you guys, because if I had to go back, I would have made sure I secured myself a lot better. But I made it out because, I don't have any children or anything like that. So I was able to make that big leap. So if you don't, and, if you have someone to take care of you, then okay, cool. Now I didn't. I still had to, man, I'm telling you, when I hustle and bustle everything to get the bills paid, I did. So I'm not saying you can't do it, but I definitely could have saved myself a little bit of stress and maybe moved a lot faster in 4 years. And I'm going to tell you what could have made me move a lot faster. This is the third mistake I'm saying, where a lot of entrepreneurs do. They ignore their true passion for the money. And I had, like I said, places where I was able to bring in money and everything like that. But I didn't dig down into myself to figure out what it was I really wanted. So of course, once I got the money and I'm able to pay my bills, I'm bringing in, a nice residual income, a check coming in and stuff. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all. And it was because I didn't even know what I wanted. So you got to take some time to really know what you want. And if I took the time to do a lot of self-development and things like that, back then when I was working and had a job, things would have been differently. So that's some mistakes that I see, especially for those who are transitioning out from, being a worker, working a job to going full-time entrepreneur. That's something that's really important there, because I would have had, it would have just been different. Hold on, let me read a comment. Great information. All right, Jose, definitely. Thanks for sharing. TwoSmartEvolution.com. Cool. And definitely much love to you, brother. So another thing that is a particular mistake that I've want to share, and I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon, is not willing to delegate, trying to do everything on your own. Whew, that, my friends, is killing you, especially if you got to the point where your business is doing well, but I actually just got a new client like that. Like, she has a amazing business. She's doing really well. Still working and then running her business, but she's running like a wild person, head cut off, running around doing everything, and she's not delegating. And I understand at times, like, you want to keep the money in and things like that, but you got to be very careful what you're doing, because the time it takes for you to do everything yourself, you could have been making more money or freeing yourself more time to do more income producing activities. So when I talked about the week before last about time management, I did a video on time management, and I talked about that as far as focusing on making sure you have income producing activities. And if you want to see that, you could definitely check on my YouTube. If you YouTube LC Thrive, you'll see it. Everything is listed. Or you can go on my Facebook page, my business Facebook page. If you just search CEO LC Thriver, or if you're already on this page, you'll find the live where I talked about time management. And I said it was very specifics that you had to do and make sure that you are focused on income producing activity. If you are one of those entrepreneurs that are doing everything and some of the things that's not even bringing income or whatever, like, you're spending all this time doing your flyers, your decorations, all this good stuff. Now I do some of my branding and flyers and stuff like that, but it's like on my commute. You get what I'm saying? Because stuff is not too hard, but I have no problem delegating particular things. I have a virtual assistant. She does like my calls and my scheduling because I was doing everything. That stuff saves me a lot of time because I can now be able to focus more on what's bringing home the bacon. Okay. Like what's bringing the money in, or, taking the time out for me, my self-development, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're running with our heads cut off, not even focusing on ourselves and our bodies, not eating, stuff like that, because we're doing everything. So that is a huge mistake that I see entrepreneurs do all the time. And it's really important that you do that. Another mistake is, so I'll just kind of recap. The first one was, yesterday I talked about being a perfectionist, confusing embarrassment versus feeling ashamed. And I gave the quote about Mark Zuckerberg talked about move fast and break things. You got to be willing. That needs to be your motto as an entrepreneur. But today I shared as far as the first one is having instant gratification, expecting results too soon. The second one is not securing your funds and quitting too soon. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to feel like number one, and then you're having instant gratification. The third one was ignoring your true passion for the money. The fourth one was trying to do everything yourself and not delegating. You got to, as an entrepreneur, you're a boss, right? Right? You're a boss, right? You want to be a boss? If you're a boss, say I'm a boss. Type in the chat and say I'm a boss. So if you're a boss, I am a boss, you got to be willing to delegate and hire out. You know what I mean? You got to be willing to outsource, because if you're a boss, you know and understand you can't do everything on your own. So it's a team. It's a team effort. You got to have everybody in this with you. So you have to be willing to delegate and know what to delegate. I get it. When you're tight on money, you're building, you do need to be mindful on what, but Maybe it's time for you to go get a loan for your business. If you want to build your business and you're truly passionate about this and this is what you want, you might have to go use your OPM, which is other people's money. Get a loan, get a credit card, whatever it is that you need to do to fund these things if you're truly passionate and you know this business is going to bring in money. If it's something that's, you're just trying to figure it out and stuff, you may need to really self-examine what you're doing, because you shouldn't be at a space where you're doing something that you don't know. As an entrepreneur, you need to have confidence and belief. And that's what I shared so far. Fourth, that's the fifth one. Having immaculate faith and belief in what you're doing. When you find out what your true passion is and what you're doing, then you'll have immaculate faith and belief. Okay. And then the last one is being a blind man to social media and the internet. I have so many people who don't have, I have people and prospects or potential clients and stuff that I talk to that doesn't do marketing on social media. They say it's too much. They don't really even have a website, especially if they have like a tangible product. They don't have a website. They don't have like spaces for people to reach them. They still do it the old school way, with just the business cards, words of mouth. It's cool if this is just your little hustle money, but like I'm telling you, if this is something you really want to expand and grow, you got to be willing to adjust and go on and learning, like, social media, things like that. And that goes back to the fourth one where I shared as far as being adaptable, not being, as far as delegating, sorry guys. As far as delegating, this is where that comes in. If social media is not your thing and it's too much and it's a lot, it's tiring, you need to find the right person that's going to help you build that. And I'm telling you, I've done it with my last business. I've done it. I've learned a lot that I'm pretty much doing a lot for it here, but I also have an assistant to help with that. Okay. You got to be willing to delegate. So the last one that I want to share, especially carrying on as far as what I'm talking about with social media, is being adaptable. You got to be willing to be adaptable. Things are forever changing, especially in whatever market you're in. I mean, just in the whole entrepreneur realm, I don't care what business you're in, business and marketing and social media and the internet, everything is changing. So you got to be willing to be patient and adaptable to adapt to what's being done. And, putting in the time, putting in, as far as what's expected, you can't stay stagnant on that. Okay. Because, a lot of times, as people, I don't even care if you're an entrepreneur or not, a lot of people have a problem as far as adjusting to change. If that's something that you have a problem on, then you need to sit and work on that, because in this life, in this entrepreneur life and on this journey, things are forever changing, and you always have to be willing to adapt and be adaptable and also be coachable. So that's pretty much the gist of, what I'm sharing today. And, the biggest mistakes, I shared my mistakes. I'm telling you, I went broke, debt, way in huge debt and everything from some of these mistakes. So I hope it's something that can definitely, see a change for you, opened your eyes. If you thought this was great and helpful, please share this with other entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, those who are even thinking about it, those who are stuck at a job and they want to find their way out. Share this with them, because I know this will be helpful. I wish I was able to hear these things and know this stuff, but everything's a part of the journey too. So one of the things with, being an entrepreneur or business owner and going out is you got to be willing to, enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride, enjoy the mistakes, enjoy the hiccups, be embarrassed, even be ashamed at times. You get what I'm saying? Live life, live your journey, live your entrepreneur life. You grow and you build. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to recap really quick and then we're out. So one of the things I shared as far as if you're writing this down is the mistakes that you could be making is expecting instant gratification. Number 2 is not securing your funds and quitting too soon. The third one, now don't confuse that with, not willing to take the leap. Still go and do what you want to do, but just make sure you have stuff secured, okay? Because some people may take that, and I've heard many times like, well, I don't have the money together, so I can't move. I got to keep working. No, go get a loan. You know what I mean? Go get a loan or whatever it is that you need to do. Go and run. And if you got an idea in a business, go for it. But just make sure that you're securing. Match your 401k or your 503b or 401(k), whatever. Match your retirement. Really focus on that. You get what I'm saying? Because as an entrepreneur, you don't get these things. Okay, so don't confuse that. So yeah, number 2 is securing the funds. Number 3 is be willing to delegate. You cannot do everything. 4th one is the mistakes that you could be doing is ignoring your true passion, going after the money. The 5th one is being a blind man to social media. And then the 6th one is not being adaptable is a big mistake. And then the 7th one is not being coachable. You know what I mean? So you got to be willing to be coachable. Get you a coach and a mentor, whoever it is that can excel and push you forward to, get accountability. If you can't even afford it, at the beginning, I couldn't afford a coach, okay? But I had to go and get, loans or whatever because I kept skating and staying on the same surface in my business, and I wanted to make amazing leaps and bounds. I had to be willing to get me a coach that has been where I was and to push me to where I need to be so I can be able to share these things I'm sharing with you guys. So, if you can, I understand at times, but like I said, if you can get a loan, you got some decent credit, get something, find your way. But if you can't, accountability partner, whatever, you got to stay on course. If you don't stay on course, you're gonna fall off, and good luck with the journey. So maybe that should be number 8 is staying on course and staying consistent. Consistency is key. All right, guys. So I went a little bit over than the time usual, but I started a little late. I'm Lauren LC Thrive. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I'm so glad and thankful and blessed that I'm feeling better. I know a couple of you guys missed me earlier this week. Things are okay. I'll be having physical therapy with all what's going on. So all your well wishes, your messages, your emails, those who are on my email list, thank you for your prayers. For those who do not know, I was in a little fender bender, but I'm okay. And I'm just excited. I'm very grateful for life. I'm excited for you. I'm excited that you're going to expand and explode in your business. And if you need any help by any means, definitely reach out to me for anything that you may need in your business to excel. If you're ready to take on that leap, I'm taking on just a very few dream clients on to excel and push. I'm very passionate about women entrepreneurship and empowerment. So I'm Lauren LC Thrive. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Talk to y'all later. See y'all Monday at 12:30 p.m. back for Thrive Abundantly TV. I'll let y'all know what we're going to talk about next week.